I thought I already combined most of the roguelike games that were available on Steam. But boy was I wrong. The roguelike mechanic is a sort of goldmine for indie game developers, and that's all thanks to the success of Balatro. Like Balatro is based on poker, the games on this list are a combination of basic games and roguelike elements. By the way, this time I'm going to give a stamp of excellence to the game on this list I found the best out of the 7. So let's dive in. Starting with a game that took chess and roguelike elements named Passant. Every round you can buy new pieces to fill up your side of the board like knights, pawns or queens. In the shop you can also find badges that give you extra powers. The last thing in the shop you can buy are coins, and these are one-time use effects like placing extra pieces on the field. The cool thing about the game is that it introduces new chess pieces like the courtesan that can attack, but she can prevent pieces around her from attacking. The art style is simple and clean, but the game has a lot of depth because it takes the basic rules from chess and enhances them with all those new elements. It's pretty clear that Passant takes the same cycle structure as Balatro, 2 normal rounds and a boss battle. Nevertheless, if you are a chess fan, definitely try Passant. A game on this list I really like playing is Cloverpit. It really gives off the analog horror vibes with the PS1 art style, meaning low poly models combined with gritty textures. But on what kind of basic game is Cloverpit based? It's the good old slot machine. Spin the wheel and try your luck. The premise of the game is simple. You influence the outcome of your spin to get enough coins at the end of the round. You can do this by buying items in the shop with tickets. Something interesting about the tickets you can receive each round is that if you go for fewer spins on the slot machine, you get more tickets, giving you the option between buying better items in the shop or stacking up coins. If you don't have enough coins at the end of the cycle, they open a pit below you and you die. It really feels like the game has more story to offer than what I saw in the demo. For example, when you complete a boss round, someone calls you on the phone to give you a power, with some small talk in between, which adds more mystery to the whole game. I'm really excited about this. I really hope we can get more information about the situation we are in. Why are we captured? Why do we play this game? And what happens if we make it to the end? All questions without answers. The next combination is roguelike elements combined with Minesweeper. You probably have the same reaction as me. How can they combine those two elements? And I will tell you. The first couple of rounds are pretty simple. Most of the time 2 or 3 clicks are enough to clear the round like in a normal Minesweeper game. You get 3 lives and every bomb you click you lose 1 life. After each round you have the chance to pick up an upgrade, and now the game isn't just Minesweeper anymore. Now it is Infinity Sweeper, and some of the upgrades are permanent. Others you hold in your hand and you can play when needed. When you enter later stages, negative effects are added to the field like Fog of War to make it harder, but a nice addition to this game is that your score in the boss battle is converted to time. So in this boss battle, next to losing by misclicks, you also have to watch your time. And in appearance, the game is pretty basic, vibrant with minimal effects. Nothing really too special, and I have to say Minesweeper is not really my type of game. It gets repetitive quite easily for me, but it doesn't mean you can't try it out. Another game that really surprised me is Duchy. Set in medieval times, you collect grain, wood and coins by playing Tetris. It's really interesting to see how Duchy implements the Tetris mechanic to collect resources, how you gather your knights to defend you and enemy forces that attack you. I have to say it really feels innovative. By choosing the placement of each block, you influence the already placed blocks on the board. Some of the blocks are structures that give you resources based on the terrain you place on the board. For example, the more forest tiles you have around the lumber mills, the more wood you get in your inventory. Some of the structures can change the terrain permanently. A farm changes grasslands to fields, which also give more troops to your archery range. At the end of your placement and when you come in contact with the enemy, combat starts. The combat is simple but profound. You play a rock, paper, scissors style in one turn where you combine your troops, send them to the enemy and see who is the last one standing. This is all in one turn, so you draw one big arrow from one location to another. When scrolling through the main menu, you can clearly see that there is a lot to uncover in the game, and because of the sound effects, the art style, the game mechanics and just the overall look and feel of the game, I'm going to give Duchy my stamp of excellence. Another game that really surprised me was Dungeon Clawler, combining the roguelike deck building mechanics with a claw machine. The first time seeing this on the Steam page, I didn't think much of it. I didn't watch any gameplay and went straight into the game. Turns out it's a lot more fun than it seems. It is of course a bit RNG because you don't 100% know if the claw is going to catch the items you want. But this makes the game that more attractive. You always hope to catch the correct items from the machine. This way you're going to sit more on the edge of your seat. The layout in between the fights is pretty basic. Also, the combat shown on the screen is non-existent, but the star of the show is the container with all the loot. Because you play with a claw machine, making the items bigger or smaller has an impact on the game. Bigger items with better effects will be more difficult to catch or will prevent you from catching a lot more items in one go. Enemies can also use all kinds of effects that influence your container, lining you with ink or adding sticky honey balls that make it harder to catch your loot. Some enemies even infuse your items with magic to make it more difficult to catch, or this can happen too. So you like playing on a claw machine? Try out Dungeon Clawler. Our next game on the list is a cute memory game called Replicat. The title of the game speaks for itself. You combine cards to gather points and reach a certain cap for that round. Each combo of cats has their own amount of points and effects. Next to the cats displayed on the cards, you can also have matching items in the shop that makes your rounds more easy, or you can even burn your cards to get higher scores each round by destroying low point cards. In total, you can flip over 16 cards each turn, and you have a total of 4 turns to gather enough points to clear the round. It's a fun and light-hearted game, completely different from a game like Cloverpit. Quick side note, I already tested out a memory roguelike game in the past named Pairs and Perils, and you can check that video out if you are interested in more roguelike games. But I found that Replicat is more accessible to play because of the clear and simple style. You want something cute? Try Replicat. The last one on the list is Combolite and combines roguelike with hitting something. I don't know if you can consider hitting things as a basic game, so let's take a sport like baseball for example, at least that's a game. In Combolite you buy different items like weapons to hit a round white ball. Each item has its own category and effect, but the most interesting part is the direction that is given to each item where it will hit the ball. The heavy hammer will hit the ball downward, so it hits from the top, while knives hit them horizontally. You also have fruit that explodes and gems to give bonuses to your items. The goal is just to hit the ball as hard as you can. The developer even stated that the goal of the game is to break it by stacking up billions of points. You just have to try to break the game. This is just a game you play for fun when you have a little bit of free time. Open the game, hit the ball as hard as you can and see how much points you can stack up. And this is Combolite for you. So these are the games I have for you today. You can watch this video right here. It's another 7 games like Balatro video. And as always, stay awesome my friends.